Okay, back to what I was saying. How often do you study foreign language and how? Well, um, I made some videos recently showing people how I learn languages. For those of you who've already been to my webpage and watched my videos, but I try to study foreign language every day. Uh, I try to study language every day with a certain time limit. Like I do for whatever language I study, I try to study for 3 hours. The languages I've chosen, because I recently, I think at the beginning of this year, I have decided, or the end of last year, I've decided to choose 4 languages a year to focus on intensively. To focus on intensively, and what I do is I'll make a schedule for those 4 languages, and try to study those for at least 3 hours, 3 hours each. So I study every day, and like I use many methodologies. Chat rooms, I use chat rooms, forums for getting answer or uh, getting my journals corrected and whatnot. And see, chat rooms. I mentioned it in my other video. So yeah, I use chat rooms and some other methodologies for learning foreign languages. Um, why do you want to learn a foreign language, and in particular these languages? Well, I want to learn a foreign language because, well, before, like I said, I started learning Chinese. I thought it would be cool to learn Chinese, and I was willing to put all the effort into learning it. And I feel that, I feel that it's after studying language for a certain period of time, I think it's very interesting. I think the people are nice. Um, it's just a different world to me. It's a different world. I tell people that all the time. It's a different world to me. And I respect different cultures. I'm always willing to learn about different cultures. I enjoy being assimilated into different cultures. And as an American, you know, we're looked down on, by other countries and stuff, because they feel that we're arrogant, and we're too good to learn their language. We don't have to because we know English. So you know um, I show my appreciation for learning foreign languages, despite being an American. So uh, yeah, so I love to learn language. I love people. Also, I love people. You know, despite religions, despite anything. They're people are people. I love people. So I love communicating with people also. So um, in a nutshell, I love people. I love communication. I love communicating with people from different countries and stuff, and I love learning about their cultures. Yeah, and the language, these languages, the most difficult languages, they would say. Um, I get a kick out of learning difficult languages, because it's a challenge. It's a challenge, and many people, they don't expect it. They expect you to learn languages like, well, as an American, they expect me to learn languages like Spanish, French, Italian, um, German, and those languages. So it's like, if I learn those languages, people, they will say, well, perhaps they will say something like, well, I'm not surprised that you speak those languages because you're American. They're close to English, and so I guess I get a kick out of being praised for learning difficult languages, you know, because it takes hard work, and it takes hard work and dedication to learn those difficult languages. So I get a kick out of being praised from that. But I like German, Spanish, Italian. I've actually studied a little bit of German, Spanish, Italian, and French. I've taken French in high school. I did really well in French, but we don't learn that much in school, so that's a different issue there. But I love all languages. It's just that I happen to be stuck with the Asian, African, Middle Eastern, Northeastern, Eastern Europe uh, languages. So um, I plan to learn pretty much all the languages in the world. That's my goal. Before I leave this earth, I want to learn every language in the world. That's my goal. I don't expect to be perfect in it, but I want to be to the point to where I'm able to communicate with these people, on a daily basis, everyday things, whatever. So I plan to learn every language. That's my goal. So, why do you want to learn? And then how do you use the language that you learn at work, or do you practice with native speakers or in other ways? Well, right now I work. I started doing this tutoring thing. It's like my own tutoring business, and I also work for OSU, tutoring athletes. So I get to use I get to use languages, that way, help people learn languages and whatnot. And I just use languages to have fun, chat with people. Um, my wife, she's from Taiwan, so I use Chinese with her and her family, definitely with her family because they can't speak English. So those aspects there. How do you learn Chinese? Other ways. Do you have any particular experience or interesting stories that you would like to share relating to foreign languages, or anything or any things that you think are important for other people to know about learning other languages? Well, what I could say is that when you learn a foreign language, especially if you're a beginner, you wanna don't expect everybody to be nice. Okay, don't expect everyone to be nice, because you're gonna get some. There are gonna be some situations when people, they can be rude and be mean to you. Perhaps they are confused on why you want to learn their language. They don't understand why you want to learn. So, I had I had a couple funny experiences. I guess I could share with you guys. When I first started learning Chinese, I was with my best friend, and like I said, we used to go around and practice languages. And we were at the University of Akron, and there was a Chinese girl, and I knew she was Chinese because she was reading. She had some Chinese papers near my friend. He said, yeah. He said, look. He said, look, she's Chinese. Let's practice Chinese. So we didn't start speaking Chinese. We didn't start speaking Chinese with this girl. I asked her I asked her, excuse me, do you know what time it is? I asked her the time, and then she told us the time. And then I asked her where she was. I asked her, may I ask where you from? And I asked her that, and then she she was like, she looked at me funny, and she said, well, she's like, why do you want to know? And I said, I was just curious because I study foreign languages. And then she was like, oh, she said, what did she say? She said, oh, you wouldn't know. And I guess she was saying I wouldn't know the language. So it was so we just left him alone, and we left that situation alone. But it was funny though, because I think it was a week later, we met this Chinese guy, okay, and I had I was talking with him. What was it? I met him somewhere, and I ended up seeing him again, and we were speaking in Chinese, and he was with that same girl. That was in the library, and she she was just, it was so funny. Her facial expressions, the way she was looking, she was like kind of embarrassed, because I guess she said we didn't have an idea, have a clue. But I just thought that was interesting. We ended up seeing her again, but she was with the guy I talked to before, and I guess she was his girlfriend. There was another situation where we were in the cafeteria, and there was an older Chinese woman. She was at least 50, in her 50s, probably late 50s, and she was reading a Chinese newspaper. And we were sitting there, and my friend said, he said, look, she's reading Chinese newspaper. And I said, yeah, I know. And then I was trying to practice the Chinese with her, so we were sitting. She was right here next to me, and I was looking at the Chinese newspaper. And perhaps I shouldn't have done this, but I asked her in Chinese if it was okay if I could read her paper after she's finished. And she was just reading the paper, she turned the pages. It was like she didn't hear me. So I'm like maybe she didn't hear me. And then I asked her again in Chinese, and after I asked her again, and she lost it. She snapped. Oh, my time's run out. I'll be right back with the second part.